Okay, mental health is really important when it comes to dealing with thyroid dysfunctions. Early on, when I was trying to get my medication dose proper, when I was first dealing with my own thyroid condition, actually my main symptom that I was going off of at the time was how anxious I was getting, how much resilience I had to solving problems instead of getting intimidated and overwhelmed by them. And when my anxiety went up, when my self-esteem went down, my ability, basically by self-esteem I mean my ability to problem solve through basic things, when that went down, I started to realize, oh, I should get back to the doctor and get another blood test. I wonder if my medication is not enough. So, by the way, thyroid medication does need to be dosed it needs to be looked at regularly when we first get on it, because the thyroid, when we get it diagnosed, it's in the midst of something. It's going to have to recalibrate. That's what a medication helps it to do. So it really is about getting the proper dose so that we're not in a hyper state, because that sucks, trust me. And we don't want to be in a hypo state either. We want to be in optimal, right? We want to be in as optimal a state as we can be. As we can be. So, anxiety is a big one when we're having hyperthyroidism. Hyper's this way. Hyperthyroidism. I want to keep it consistent in my videos. Because we're wound up, hypercaffeinated, can't sleep, of course we have anxiety. Our body temperature's through the roof. Our skin is glistening. We're so wound up. So yes, there's going to be anxiety when it comes to hyperthyroid state. In a hypothyroid state, there's going to be a different kind of anxiety. It feels different. It's going to come along with feelings of self-worth problems, like I can't. Oh my God, I'm just not, I'm getting old. God, I wish I could, how come my friends can, and I can't, and then my sister-in-law, she's so, and then you start to compare yourself to others, and then you get resentful, and then you get jealous, and all of this stuff happens as a result of a low-functioning thyroid. Because in hypothyroidism, whether we're male or female, is like we can't do what we used to. So we start to be hard on ourselves. It causes us to be insecure. Okay, so let's look at that. There's lots of reasons why we could be feeling insecure. But not being able to keep up with life is one of them. And that's one thing about hypothyroidism, is that it's hard to keep up with life. You get wrapped up in all your responsibilities and all the things you have to do, and all of a sudden your life is just full of have-tos instead of want-tos. Number one, that's depressing. And number two, it causes us to look at ourselves and go, how come I can't when other people can? But instead of looking and being curious about that sort of thing and going, maybe I need to talk to an naturopath, or maybe I need to just sit down and look at this for a second, go for a walk, take a drive to another city, and just in the drive, look at this. But oftentimes with hypothyroidism, because so many of us deal with issues of not being able to keep up or not being able to be adequate or do enough that's adequate in our world, like that's how society's set up. And I feel like people with hypothyroidism are more susceptible, they're more at risk of that kind of anxiety, that not able to keep up, that sense of inadequacy, than a lot of other people. So that, and we get wrapped right up. And the problem is, and it becomes a vicious cycle, is we don't look at the thyroid problem because we're so busy looking at ourselves. From a place of like lack of self-love. You know what I mean? Like, I'm encouraging you, if you're having anxiety and you're having some of these situations and you're looking at this video, you're obviously curious about it. Good, stay curious. That's the way through this. If you think you might have hypothyroidism, or maybe you don't, maybe you just have some anxiety. Maybe you are having trouble keeping up. Maybe you're just getting tired of everything you do in a day and you need to splash things up a little bit. That's fine too. But I would encourage you not to look at that from a place of, oh, I suck. Don't look at it like that, because you won't get very far. You'll stay stuck in that, and you know where you're going to go? You're going to go into, oh, well, that person and that person. You're going to start comparing yourself to people. Then you're going to start to get frustrated with yourself. You're not going to look at that. You're going to look at the other person, and then you're going to just be a hater for all the other people that are doing better than you. And that's what hypothyroid anxiety looks like. So How about this instead? Take a step back and go, I need to stop comparing myself to others because nobody could be as good at me as I. So let's freaking just get rid of that concept whatsoever. I need to stop that thought process because it is making me stuck. It's preventing me from doing my healing. It's preventing me from getting better. To get into the life that I want, where I actually have leisure and it's not all about all the have-tos anymore. That I have the energy, that I can do. So let's look at how we can get there. Number one, stop being so hard on yourself. And number two, get curious. Okay, don't be so intimidated by what you see that you avoid looking at it. Get curious about it. And if you need some help, that's what I'm here for. That's what this office is here for, to sit here in a non-judgmental place that the two of us, you and I, sit down together, and together we take that journey. We do that exploring. Let's look at this together, and we courage up and we look at it. That's what I'm here for. Looking at the hard stuff with you, because it's a lot easier to do it with someone like me. I'm not perfect either. I've been there. So look at it curiously. Go look at the last 2 videos that I've done on the thyroid, what you could be looking for, how you could be checking your own thyroid, you know, how you could be doing some of these things for yourself. And if you think that there's a hypothyroid situation, take a look at some of these symptoms. Hyper-responsibility. Absolutely. Okay, that's anxiety. I really wanted to take a look at that. Depression, yes. But I think it comes from a state of anxiety when it comes to the thyroid. So if there's anything that you want to explore in that regard, if you do kind of think that, hey, I'm looking at thyroid and my gut feeling keeps telling me to look at thyroid, and like thyroid books and commercials and things keep coming up on my Facebook and my Instagram and all these things, maybe that's a sign. Well, maybe it is, and maybe you haven't gained weight, and maybe you're not having a low body temperature, and maybe have a really healthy diet, you're taking all your minerals, and you shouldn't have a thyroid condition, but something just keeps nagging at you, and you got these weird symptoms. You got the hair thing, you got the anxiety thing. Let's look at it. We'll just look at it. Deal? Okay, have a great day.